Hello, I'm John Stevens from the FO1 survey team, and I'll be going over section E, pest management practices, and the conclusion. We're collecting data not only about pesticides, but also about alternatives to pesticides and some of the practices farmers enact to help increase their effectiveness. It shows how responsible farmers are with their pesticides and that they take on new technology to avoid issues such as runoff and excessive pesticide use. This topic is often put into the hands of our lawmakers and regulators, especially when they are writing rules that impact farmers. We want lawmakers to have the best data to create effective actions and regulations. For this survey, when you see the word pests, it refers to all three categories listed here, which includes weeds, insects, and diseases. Always have these topics in the back of your mind as you go through the survey in case they are brought up in the conversation with the operator. One other thing to remember, this section is asking about any of the fruit acres on this operation, target or non-target crops. This section asks growers to report on the practices they use to manage pests. Again, remember the term pests include weeds, insects, and diseases. There are a few types of practices that are the focus of this survey, which include prevention or avoidance, such as keeping pests out in the first place or avoiding before they become an issue, detection or monitoring, which focuses on keeping track of the pests, control, controlling pests that are already there, chemical, biological, physical, or natural. These topics might help you answer some of the respondents' questions and understand their practices. Now, let's talk a bit about how to walk through the questionnaire. An example of an error that we see during review is not following skip codes correctly. We touched on this earlier. So let's take a look at how to follow a skip code based on a response from this section. In this question, if the operator says they only scout for pests while doing their work, this would indicate the value 2 should be answered and you would skip to question 7 per the text circled in red. Overall, make sure you're familiar with the questionnaire and skip codes to avoid extra work for you and lessen the respondent burden. On question 7, if column 2 is no, you skip column 3. If column 2 is yes, select the option of who did the majority of the scouting. Please remember to only use one number in column 3. If other, please be specific in your comments. As we go further onto this section, we get to our specific practices questions, which are questions 8 through 19. Just a reminder, the focus is pest control. If an operator, for example, used crop rotation, but their reasoning didn't have anything to do with pests, say it was about soil nutrition concerns, then we would mark a no for the rotation crops question here. Another reminder, when you're recording the answers to these questions, a 1 means yes and a 3 means no. Leaving a box blank does not mean no. So please put a 3 if it's a no here. Again, we're looking for pests, which are specifically defined as weeds, insects, and diseases. Section E has skip codes, so make sure you're familiar with them and the questionnaire. This will help you with moving through the survey quicker. Leave notes if needed. We'll have access to them and take appropriate actions. The interviewer's manual explains each question if you want more details. In the next part of this video, I'll go over the conclusion part of the fruit chemical use survey. When recording the starting and ending time, make sure to use military time. If more than one person was interviewed or the enumeration took place over more than one day, make notes outside the box so that a total elapsed time can be calculated. Be certain the ending time is greater than the beginning time entered on the face page. For the Fruit Chem Use Survey, this is not the California version. The next two questions ask about record and supplement use when completing the questionnaire. If pesticide records were used to complete the survey, then make sure to use code 1 in box 064. If any supplements were used for pesticides, you'll also record the total number of supplements used in box 068. Please remember to only put a number in box 068 if you used one or more supplements. So usually we see maybe one or two supplements here. If it's, for example, an apple operation, it's an orchard, they spray a lot. So you might need additional supplements. So if you use the questionnaire, plus you use two additional supplements, in box 068, you would specify 2 for the number of supplements. Now, let's talk about the contact information part of the conclusion. If possible, we'd like you to get the operations email. Also, please check the box next to the email if they would like to receive the results of the survey by email. When recording the operation phone number, remember you don't need to enter the phone number if it is correct on the label or the front of the questionnaire. Record the name of the person you talked to and their phone number if different than the operation phone number on the label. It's helpful to know if the phone number is a cell phone, and if so, please check the box indicating it's a cell phone. Finally, be sure to fill out the bottom of the back page. The response can only be complete, refusal, or inaccessible. The respondent code identifies the person who was interviewed. Make sure to enter the code identifying the person who provided the majority of the data in cell 9902. The mode code should be a 2 for paper-assisted telephone interview or a 3 for paper-assisted personal interview. Also, don't forget to enter your ID at the very bottom in the item code box 9998. So some common questions and errors. Here's a question from the Pest Management Practices, question 26A. What is an example of irrigation used for pest management? Examples are below. You can go ahead and read those. High pressure water sprayers, maybe it's to dislodge pests. Sprinkler irrigation to wet plant foliage intended to dislodge pests. Drainage control to avoid excessive moisture to combat disease. Retention water, drip irrigation, and plastic mulch to retain moisture and control weeds. Additional common questions and answers. If the interview is conducted over more than one meeting call, how should the start and end time be recorded? We want an aggregate number there. So you can do it a couple different ways, a start and stop time. Just make sure that you have the total time in there. Or here you give the example, meeting 1 was 25 minutes, meeting 2 was 19 minutes, total interview time 44 minutes. So you'd enter in 1000 there and 1044 for the begin time and the end time. Or you could just indicate the total duration in item code 008. So it's up to you how you want to do that. Other common errors, improperly using utensils used on the paper form. Please make sure to use black lead pencil. Make sure to press firmly. You can see here, I can't read any of this stuff that was put on a previous questionnaire, and this is an actual scan of a previous questionnaire. So please make sure that things are legible. Black pencils is best to use. Okay, and that's it. If you have questions that remain unanswered after this presentation, please feel free to reach out to your coach or manager. And if they don't have the answers for you right away, they'll talk to the associate directors and back to NAS. So thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And if you're not a California enumerator, this is it. If you are a California enumerator, I think you've got one more video to go. So good luck out there, everybody. And thanks for participating.